Hunter saves it. Hunter Hughes is coming around. Here comes Colton Garner. It's Hunter Hughes!
Turn 4 for the final time. Who's got more ponies? Checkered flag out. Bluegrass 150 goes to Ian Miller.
And welcome back to the Daily Driven Podcast, guys. As always, I'm your host, Nick Zammit.
It's good. Get the name out there. It's like, hey, Joseph Newgarden, you're the guy with the sperm commercial. Yeah.
And with that, it is time to start writing a brand new chapter in Stadium Scene TV's Wednesday Night Dash. We're back in the Xfinity Series cars, and we are kicking things up at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for round number 1. How are you, Jackson Lambros? So excited to be with you every Wednesday night here for Wednesday Night Dash as the best of iRacing take on the Xfinity machines. We get started with qualifying here and a slow Dawson Buchanan in 3-lap practice. Still 2 minutes to go here as we look now at Connor Fuge doing his 2 laps. A couple of changes here over the offseason. Handful of new drivers. Derek Booker, no stranger to IFWL or to Stadium Scene from IndyCar Racing World Series. But we welcome some new names. Jacob Barker, Robert Lewis, Harrison Santos, Casey Tooker, as well as some returning names. Ricky Shaw, Eric Mattingly, and Lucas Puntarelli. Double duty for Puntarelli as well. A couple of silly season changes here. Hunter Hughes running a part-time schedule. Going to be doing Daytona and the Roval. Won't see him tonight. That'll be for Blue Ridge Racing. Jarnigan driving for Smoky Mountain Racing, making the move. Lucas Puntarelli joining Eric and DJ at FR Racing. And Team BS joining the competition in the form of Mattingly and Derek Booker. So a handful of big changes here. And again, making that move up from the trucks back over to the Xfinity Series cars. And I had it open just a minute ago. Can I get you guys your schedule? Gonna be reading it out for you guys. It's all good. So getting started here at Las Vegas. Head over to Gateway next week. Worldwide Technology Raceway on the 20th. Triple header. As then for the 27th, we head over to Daytona for some night action on the high banks. Milwaukee Mile comes your way September 10th. Texas Motor Speedway the 17th. Take another handful of weeks off before we go road course racing, but not quite. It's the Charlotte Roval October 1st. After that, Auto Club Speedway comes on the 8th. Richmond on the 15th. Pocono, we tackle the tricky triangle for the penultimate round on October 22nd. And we crown ourselves a champion under the lights at Phoenix. Huge thanks to everybody for tuning in wherever you might be watching on Restream, whether it's YouTube, Twitch.tv, Mixer, or others. We are so glad to have you with us for this season of Stadium Scene TV action. Checkered flag out, and we will be back with you in just a moment here to set the grid. Stay with us. Quick look at your starting grid there as we get set for 105 miles here of action at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. One green-white-checkered enabled for all the oval races, so we'll get one chance to re-rack them at the end. But by and large, daytime race, late afternoon or early afternoon start should be about 71 degrees here as we get started. Buchanan on the inside, Colton Gardner on the outside. When this green flag flies, the off-season ends, and we go racing in a new season of Wednesday Night Dash. Buchanan, early lead there in the 4 over the 40 of Gardner. Watch the 32, Garrett Jarnigan drops the inside of Jackson Lambros and gets that move through. Looks like further back there, Brian McKinney's in the 8 snap-on machine, trying to get some work done. Man, right up against the wall. A lot here in this opening stint. Front of this pack is diluted very quickly, but it looks like we've got some movement further up the field. Eric Richardson trying to make the outside stick here as John Miles in the Bass Pro Shops machine tries to make it move. Now the 13, the Showtime. Number 13 of Eric Richardson takes a look to the inside of Robert Lewis. Can't get there. Very lax start here to the Vegas 105. Buchanan, Gardner, Fuge, and Jarnigan, your top 4. Looks like further back, Jackson Milan trying to chip away here. You see him in, I believe that's the Napa Golden Green. Number 9 there. But man, good line from Garrett Jarnigan as well. Good momentum here from the 49, Connor Fuge. Right on the bumper, but now gets checked up just a little bit. And Jarnigan thinking about a move to the inside. Very high commitment race course, especially with these lower downforce Xfinity cars. Very, very hard to make a move stick. Requires commitment in a track that is always turning, always demanding something from your car. So a couple of changes coming into this season. There's something we haven't really talked about. New rule change, implementation of an incident count. An incident limit, shall I say. That'll be 18 times for the supers. Any track that's over a mile will count for that. That will be a drive-through penalty. Black flag going that way. It'll be 13 times for all other ovals. You get to 25, you are getting the big black flag. That's the DQ. We'd have maybe 4 DQs all of last season and 3 were on the road courses, and that would have been 10 to 12 drive-through penalties as well. Hopefully we're learning the lessons here given to these drivers after so many of them run in the bottom split racing series Monday nights, learning how to coexist on track in the ARCA cars. We want to increase the quality of life on track. So not too much of a shocker. It'll be very, very interesting to see how that works out. Dawson Buchanan really in control of this race. For the time being, nobody really home, but it's become a 3-car breakaway. Jackson Milan and Garrett Jarnigan kind of struggling to stay with the top 3 for the time being. like Corey Tucker wants to make a move, though, on Jackson Lambros in the 11. I beg your pardon, I believe this is Casey Tucker in what is supposed to be the 66, one of our rookies. Comes in with the stripes alongside Jacob Barker, Robert Lewis, and Harrison Santos. Now Colton Gardner really starting to put the pressure on here. Riding on board with the 4 here, Dawson Buchanan. So now it becomes to turn into a 2-car breakaway here. As another little bit of a peek to the inside. Gardner not driving off the mirrors quite yet. This is the kind of racing we saw in Charlotte last season. Early management of the tires absolutely paramount. Looks like further back we might have missed a move. Connor Fuge snatching P11 from Harrison Santos. As here comes another look from the 28. Almost 3 wide. JP Jones now tries to join the fray. Maybe tries split in the middle. Has help from the draft on the outside with Fuge. Still side by side. Good racing here. 21 still not fully clear of Santos. Good heads up driving though from JP. As these guys going to go back and forth just behind. That looks like Jacob Barker, who wants a piece of the action as well. Nearly 3 wide. Now we are into turn number 4. Jones still going to arrowhead him. And now the 19 of Fuge keeps sticking to that outside line, trying to make it work, but might be losing a spot in the process. Foley clears him, and Harrison Santos with another move. Now Barker's going to want to take one as well. Looks like Fuge is really up in the wall. That's going to be major losses there. So big trouble there for Connor Fuge. Back up front, still Buchanan over Gardner. Another big lunge to the inside. Starting to see Gardner hug that inside more and more. A little bit of a freight train starting to develop just a little bit further back in your picture. Garrett Jarnigan, Jax Milan, Corey Baker, and I believe that's Tyler Lugo Hickory just in the background as well. Good run here once again for Gardner. Meanwhile, here's the move from Garrett Jarnigan on the inside of Fuge. Fuge trying to roll that momentum up top. Grip has been building in that outside line. Can he make it stick? 2x2 further back. Are we going to see that move for the front? Just a little bit ahead. Colton Gardner trying to make it stick. Great defense from Buchanan, able to hold that momentum. Another peek to the inside from the 40. So Jarnigan able to take P3 from Fuge. Ooh, big trouble there. Looked like Corey Baker. Corey Tucker gets a big lick in the wall. That might be damage to the 11. Further back, Looks like Jax Milan might take another spot from Chris Fuge. And the move for the lead. We have unfortunately missed. But it's on lap number 19 where we finally see a new leader in Colton Gardner. In the 40, gonna take that front spot from Dawson Buchanan. Now Garrett Jarnigan is getting past Chris Fuge, uncorking some kind of momentum, some kind of pace that we haven't seen from the 32. Can he bring Milan, Fuge, and Lugo Vickery into this picture? Fuge still looks to be struggling here in the 49 with Tyler Lugo Vickery closing that gap. We'll go with TLV for the future. Why not? Look at how high and looping of a line Fuge is taking there in the 49. That's going to give TLV an opportunity to bounce here. Here he comes on the inside. Vickery on the free. Denny's Wi-Fi going to try to make it work into one. Is still jumping. Hopefully that's an issue on his end and not mine, because then we're really going to have issues. But very clean move from the rookie there in the 24. DLV up into P5. And Buchanan putting a gap. Colton Gardner putting a gap on Dawson Buchanan, half a second separating the two. As top three really starting to separate here. Closest battle on track, if you want to call it that, is Garrett Jarnigan and Jax Milan. Buchanan and Jarnigan still the fastest guys on track right now. As we take a look at our best laps so far. But man, Colton Gardner really taking advantage of that clean air right now. Right on board with Jax Milan. Max as he tries to snatch P3 from Garrett Jarnigan, looking just a little bit further back. Lugo Vickery is right there as well. All of these guys gathering up, mind you, right behind Dawson Buchanan with a 1 second breakaway right now for Colt Gardner. For those of you who's used to seeing me on Tuesday, you're not surprised with what I'm about to say. The iRacing Indy World Series is in full swing, and we're visiting some of your favorite places like Indianapolis, Michigan, Texas, Laguna Seca, and new for 2025, Portland. Still time to get into the series. We'll prorate your entry. Visit frracingonline.com/IRWS to learn more and register today. Looks like Tyler Lugo Vickery wants to take P4 from Jax Mullane. As it is really getting tight here from P2 back. Throw a blanket over these 4 cars. And I don't want to totally jinx stuff, commentators curse-wise. But with how difficult it's appeared to tiptoe by drivers with this car track combo, you've got to ask yourself how important pit stops are going to be, especially once we get to green flag. Here comes TLV with a good look to the inside of Jax Milan, side by side, coming out of 2. A little bit of drafting help on the outside for Milan. But the grip is there down low for Lugo Vickery. Meanwhile, Buchanan under fire from Garrett. Starting to get spicy in the battle for P2. Gardner likes this. His gap's gone up to 1.2 now. And TLV gets back in line, P4 for 24. One of our top rookies tonight. How about it? I've got a feeling he's not done yet, but Garrett Jarnigan's getting busy on Dawson Buchanan. Now tries the outside as we cross the stripe. Nearly halfway home here. Another look. Here he comes. Glued to the inside. And TLV just able to plant it on the inside. And that drafting help not helping Jarnigan. Two nearly collide there, going door to door. Coming out of 4. But it's clear again. We'll try and take P2 now from Dawson. This is beautiful stuff. Getting it confused. Lugo Vickery, not one of the rookies. And I apologize. It's certainly not driving with it like it. Buchanan up in the wall. Jarnigan with an opportunity now. Buchanan with a little bit of a scrape on the outside of turn 1. So now that 4 versus 32 battle continues. Jarnigan on the inside this time. 2-second lead for Gardner. Oh man, big slide there. Buchanan able to hold on to it. But some big slides for the 4. We're halfway home. This might be the time to throw in the towel if Dawson's gotta. And we are somehow, some way, still caution free here. Tyler Lugo Vickery, some phenomenal pace in the 24. 2 seconds to work on here and counting between himself and Colton Gardner. Can he close that gap? He's taken a big chunk out of his tires to work his way to the front as we watch Buchanan swing back on Milan. But can Lugo Vickery with a clean nose and a little bit of pressure behind still from Garrett Jarnigan. Can that gap be closed to the 40? Jarnigan on the inside of turn 2. He's made it work on the inside. Jarnigan forced Tyler to make the outside stick, and it's worked so far. Looks like further back, John Miles. We haven't talked about that much tonight. Has been battling with JP Jones just a little bit further up the road. Your bigger movers of the day, and Brian McKinney looks to have actually come to pit road here. Harrison Santos comes in for service as well. Blood in the water. Green flag pit stops could be on the horizon. They've been jonesing for it, but I think there's been a heavy anticipation that a yellow would be coming. With 18 cars out on track, it almost seemed inevitable. But somehow, some way, in a major hats off to the quality of this field, we have stayed green. And pit stops at pace could be coming your way. When will it come for the top 3, though? Jarnigan in the Kraken 32, really, really keeping Lugo honest here. And as I say that, it looked like our race leader, Colton Gardner, was thinking about coming in the pits on my second screen. But I think saw his gap and probably decided to play it safe. Big wiggle there from Tyler Lugo Vickery coming out of turn number 4. Again, so difficult to manage the power here coming into the quad oval. Further back, is this 4-track position? No, it's not. That's Harrison Santos. 2 laps down, one of the earlier guys to pit, but trying to maximize that fresh Goodyear rubber and work his way through. Does that mean Jax Milan decides to throw in the towel? Milan to the inside. Still no takers. Here comes Jarnigan again. And a very quick and done deal. Tyler Lugo Vickery immediately is going to want no more of that and come in for his stop. Looks like just a little bit further up. Buge. Well, it looked like he was, but my comically delayed, my incredibly delayed timing screen decided to show me otherwise. So service underway here. As now John Miles defending from, I believe that's Brian McKinney, working it all the way around the outside. There's your difference in rubber right there. As now here we go, Colton Gardner, JP Jones, and I believe Garrett Jarnigan all in the pits. So what is this blend gonna look like? Buchanan Stays out, but now trying to come in. Apologies there as we have a little bit of technical gremlin. So everybody in for green flag stops. And John Miles will be handed the lead of this thing in the 54 Bass Pro Shops Chevy. Tyler Lugo Vickery has worked his way in front of Colton Gardner. With the cycle, it's very possible this is your new leader. What about Casey Tucker? Here's all your pit stops so far, and it might actually be Casey Tucker with the ultimate undercut that could actually cycle up front here in the 11 out of nowhere. So Casey Tucker might be able to get this done. As Miles comes in, that will hand the lead over to DJ Fluke. Not for long, 88 comes in. So new leader this time around with a healthy, 6-second gap or so. It's gonna be Casey Tucker out of nowhere. Now, I was messing it up earlier. I can say with confidence that this is one of our rookies leading the field by a 1.5 seconds over Tyler Lugo Vickery and Colton Gardner. And here comes Gardner on the inside. Lap traffic trying to work his way around Robert Lewis. Gardner with phenomenal pace all night long. He laps John Miles there in the 54. The early strategy call has got him up front, but with 15, 17 laps to go, can he hold slightly older Goodyear rubber? And that's going in the disadvantage with this battle with TLV. Tyler Lugo Vickery to the inside. He's got it. Into the open blue, the 24. Where's Gardner? Another look to the inside. This time it's out of 2. And it might be a case of too soon junior to the 11 as Colton Gardner now navigates by for P2. Next one for position behind would be Dawson Buchanan, so it still could quite possibly be a podium finish here for the rookie. And now it is fight on for the lead. TLV versus Colton Gardner. A little bit of lap traffic further up ahead. I want to say Eric Richardson. In the 29, excuse me. So this will give maybe Colton Gardner a chance to swing back here. Here comes Dawson Buchanan through the big pack, trying to close that gap. John Miles trying to unlap himself on the inside of Casey Tucker. All of a sudden, Dawson Buchanan is right in this. Here he is through the outside, heading out of the quad oval into turn number 1. Miles defending from the 20. Miles and Lewis further back, but around the outside, Buchanan able to take third from Casey Tucker. Good stuff from the Ford driver. And here we go, 13 laps to go, half a second between Tyler Lugo Vickery and Colton Gardner. Place your bets now, Chad. Our guess is as good as yours. Gardner started second, took that lead from Dawson Buchanan, and immediately put a gap. It was Tyler Lugo Vickery in the mid-phase of this race that really showed pace. Out of the pit stop, it's been the 40 who's crawled his way back to the front and now finds himself right on the bumper of the 24 once again. The 170-mile-an-hour game of chess is on. And it's a look to the inside from the 40 of Gardner, side by side, coming out of turn number 4. Lugo able to carry that momentum on the outside. But we're not done yet. And just like that, a done deal for the 40. Colton Gardner, is he able to take off and seal this victory in Vegas? What does Tyler Lugo Victory still have in store for the 40? Further back here, watching another position lost by Tucker as now Jax Milan works his way through for 4th. It's only a 1-lap distance. Out in front difference, I should say, between these new sets of tires between our two leaders. Gardner, 14 laps old. TLV, 15 laps old. But Gardner, carbon copy of what we saw earlier with Dawson Buchanan, Tyler Lugo Vickery. Not able to keep that pace for the time being. 8 laps to respond. Miles in a great battle just ahead. Harrison Santos versus Robert Lewis. Drove up a little bit there by Lewis. This will let Miles slot his way through, gets it done, and works his way into the top 10 in the Bass Pro Shop machine. Another dive to the inside, though. Tries the switchback in the 28. Hughes trying to work his way by as well. As now John Miles looks to the inside of Lewis here. And this might be another spot lost. The 24 getting unlapped by the 21 of JP Jones. The last thing that the second place runner needs right now. did miss that move earlier, but John Miles works his way from 11th to 9th in just a handful of laps here. And Tucker from the lead to P6. Lugo Vickery not out of the woods yet. As it looks like Dawson Buchanan wants to make that one more spot to go. What a phenomenal race it's been so far to get things started in this new season of Wednesday Night Dash. So many changes for the lead, a lot of difference in pace here throughout. Evolving tracks, evolving race cars. We've still got a few sentences to write here in this opening chapter. Buchanan trying to make the outside work on Lugo Vickery. Further back, looks like it was another position for John Miles, P8 with the pass on Richardson. But now the best of the rest battle is on. Buchanan on the inside of Tyler Lugo Vickery. The 24 scraping the wall, trying to hold on to this position, wants these early points in the championship to start that defense of a former title. Vickery has to give it up. Buchanan up into second. And all this battling further back is done has given the advantage to Colton Gardner, who will see the white flag. 4 more corners for the 40. Gardner looked like the early one to beat. Put the move on Buchanan and put a gap on early. TLV looked to potentially make something different, be an upset, but it wasn't enough. The unstoppable force tonight, it should have been all chips in on 40. Colton Gardner takes the victory at the Vegas 105 and wins the opening round of Wednesday Night Dash. Buchanan bends off Tyler Lugo Vickery for P2. Jax Milan brings it home in P4. Chris Fuge in 5th. Casey Tucker, your top rookie, what could have been for a lead. But a top 10 finish and a P6 result, absolutely nothing to scoff at. And one of our big ult strategies. And tried to bring that home. What a phenomenal way to get things started in this opening race. And Colton Gardner, the unstoppable force tonight at Las Vegas World Speedway, will burn it down in Sin City. Here's your race results after round number 1. Colton Gardner, your race winner. Dawson Buchanan, Tyler Lugo Vickery, Robert Lewis, and Eric Richardson rounding out your top 10. Great closing there from John Miles, who was really able to get some moves done in the late parts of this race. Casey Tucker, your top rookie, with a P6 finish. looking a little bit further back here. And again, should be a huge amount of flowers to this field after a phenomenal all-green race here. Got it wrapped up quick, got it wrapped up tidy. And all but one bringing it home, Lucas Puntarelli being the lone dog out. And that will be all she wrote here from the opening round here at Las Vegas. But the show goes on next Wednesday as we head on to Gateway for round number 2. Thanks so much for watching Wednesday Night Dash here on Stadium Scene TV. For everyone here at Stadium Scene, I'm Jackson Lambros saying thanks so much for sticking it with you. And until next time.